Okay, Steve, we're gonna make the crop duster slower and quieter.
You're trying to break my happiness, Freiburger, because I'm just happy to see it out of hibernation.
Yeah, me
I mean,
too.
here it is in the shop after those spectacular burnouts for distance we did.
And the 1034 at 129 miles an hour.
It's good. And you're saying what?
It sat in the garage ever since the last time we had it at the track.
Right.
Because it's so loud, my neighbors complain, and it has such low gears, I can't drive it on the highway, and I'm clearly getting really old.
Well, I'll take 2 out of 3. You're still pretty good.
I think what I'm gonna request is that you fix the thing that actually stops me from using this car.
I know what that is.
The hood gap.
I know.
That ruins the entire car for me, and we tried to fix it once, and we failed, and I'm counting on you. So I'll do all the mechanical work if you just solve that.
If I fix the hood?
Yes.
I'll give it the best try I can. I mean, I didn't think
Not
that
good
piece
enough.
of rebar that we embedded.
Steve, there is no try. There is only do.
I will not fail you this time, Freiburger.
Thank you. Let me get the prop rod, and we'll pull the hood off.
So it does open.
Yeah, it opens now that we've, mangled it. Ready? Steve's gonna work on that hood. I'm gonna fiddle with some stuff on the engine. But first, I thought I should refresh you on the history of this car. It is a 1970 Plymouth Duster with some 71 parts on it. And it's called the Crop Duster because we rescued it from Steve's farm. Get it? Crop farm. In the beginning, it was on Roadkill, and it was literally buried in the back in weeds and everything. And Dulcich and Finnegan and I put a 440 in it. Ultimately, it ran very low 12s with that engine in the thing. And then, chiefly, Steve repainted the entire car from scratch. We've never had such a makeover on the show. And in fact, this is probably my single nicest car. Now, in conjunction with that, we built a 383 low-deck big block Chrysler and stroked it out to 440 cubic inches. One of the cool things is I have owned this engine block for 40 years. We put this thing together, it made 576 horsepower on the dyno. We took it to the drag strip, it ran 11 O's on Roadkill Garage. We put some nitrous on it, it went 1034 at 129 miles an hour. That was sort of the car's drag racing life. I don't want to put a roll bar in it. A roll bar is required if you go quicker than 1150 in the quarter mile. And so instead of pushing it more into the race car world, I'm gonna back it down into the street car world. Now let me show you what I'm gonna do to try and make the engine a little bit better. Here is the super jiffy carburetor that I just removed from the thing. And I know you're asking yourself, why would you do that? The thing is, this is a Holley XP series 850 double pumper. These are really designed for wide open throttle performance right out of the box. The calibration is not awesome for just driving the thing around. It'll actually cruise at like 10-to-1 air-fuel ratio, which is really rich and burbly and it'll foul the plugs. Thing is, you can fix that carburetor, but in this case, I'm not going to. I'm gonna save this for other things, and I'm going to use this carburetor that I've had sitting around forever. As a matter of fact, I looked up this particular list number on the Holley website, and it's discontinued. You can get similar stuff. It is a 750 CFM double pumper, and it's from the HP line. I have found that these have a pretty good calibration right out of the box for driving, and so that's why I'm gonna use it. The major disadvantage is, man, it is way heavier than the new aluminum carburetors. These are made of zinc, and man, it is definitely weighty. However, it is gold, and that is retro styled and will look perfect on the crop duster, and I suspect will be better for driving around with the highway gears that we're gonna put in the thing. Ah, I'm screwed. Here's something to look for that I actually failed to plan in advance. Later model Holley carburetors, or many of them, have a smaller float bowl inlet thread than the old school ones that take these type of inverted flare fitting in them. And the thread in the bowl is much bigger. See how the gold thing has giant thread and it's smaller on the black thing? This is new. This is old, so that's the problem. And so unfortunately, I have to give up my like really spiffy, cool stealth black fuel line and go to this old school red and blue AN thing that Steve had. The thing about these and the old school threads is they've got a smaller hex where you thread it into the bowl. The old ones have a 1-inch hex right here, and you always like run into the bowl and have to fight the wrench with those big ones. So I actually like the new style better, but this is what we're gonna have to do. I've got the carburetor ready to go back on, but I wanted to show you the nitrous system that we have on here, which I'm gonna leave on the car. Once again, I'm trying to make it not so much a race car, but it's still gotta run 1150, which is like the limit for adding a roll bar that I don't wanna do. And so if it ends up only running like, 1180, I can toot it with like a 50 shot and get there. The system is a Holley Sniper, which is kind of their low-end unit. It's a plate system, 1 spray bar for fuel, 1 for nitrous oxide. You can see that I've got a Nitrous Express adjustable fuel pressure regulator back here, and there's a Holley Blue pump in the back, and the electric pump is dedicated just for the nitrous system. The engine is fed by a mechanical fuel pump, which just works great for simplicity and reliability. So I'm gonna keep the nitrous on there with my new Holley 750 carb. There we go. Changing spark plugs on a big block Mopar in an A body like a Duster or a Dart is a nightmare. Why am I changing spark plugs? Well, because that last carburetor I had on here was running really rich, and after I let this thing sit like 6 months, the needles and seats in the carburetor were stuck, and therefore fuel was glugging into the engine when I fired it up to bring it here, which is why it needs new spark plugs and an oil change. Wow, does that spark plug hate me. Steve, the hose trick, please. Steve was prepared with the hose trick. So what you do is you slip the hose over the porcelain of the spark plug, and then it's more grippy and will come out. Watch this.
It's like having a super short extension.
And there's the spark plug. Wow, look how bad that plug is.
Let me look.
It smells like gas.
Wow, that thing's completely coated in gasoline.
I wonder how that would happen.
Well, once they get rid of gasoline, you won't have the sprawl.
EVs, you'll never have foul plugs again. All right, let's see how the new carburetor runs. Can you watch for leaks? I don't trust that fuel line that much.
Okay. More gas.
Why is it doing that? Cover it. That shouldn't happen.
No. It needed more gas.
Okay, that'll warm up and work. If it was 40 degrees outside earlier, it's 40 degrees inside now. So that's part of that problem.
It's cold.
Yeah.
It's quieter.
Oh, it's way quieter for sure. Maybe I'll get used to it. I wanted it way quieter when it came back from the exhaust shop, but...
I mean, it's still rowdy, but it's not like deafening like it used to be.
Yeah. All right, I hope it's good with the 323s. That's my biggest concern, honestly, is that I just turned it into a dog.
Well, I've overcome my biggest concern already.
Which is what?
Those gears howling like...
I was about to say that!
Really?
I should have just said it out loud. It would have been another mind meld moment.
You would have cut me off at the pass.
Yeah. Third gear. Come on. There. Okay, 2,500 RPM is 60.
Oh, really? I would have guessed 55, so we're moving, all right?
Let's see, 3,000?
3,500 is like 75 with 23s, I think.
That's 3,065. So you know what the amazing thing is? We used to consider these highway gears, and now it seems like it's tacking out, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, I mean, they do.
I haven't even got the fan on, and it's at 150. This thing doesn't have a blown head gasket. It's not getting hot.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
I want to find out if it's fast.
How would you do that?
Yeah, it is.
Slow me that.
It boogies.
Yeah, I felt it in my stomach.
Uh-oh.
What?
You
That's
see that?
oil. I
Is
can
it?
smell it, yeah.
I smell the oil too.
Coming out of the breather.
Is that okay? Then we're good. Yeah, this thing still boogies, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It kind of short shifted on that first run too.
Yeah, it does. I've got the adjustment right on that, I think.
Yeah.
One thing about high gears is that they really exacerbate a loose torque converter.
Yeah.
But this doesn't seem that bad.
Well, the car is pretty light too.
Yeah. You think it still does it? Think so?
Oh yeah.
Haha.